Hey everyone, this is Rachel over at Moonlight Library. I'm here today to talk about the Booker Longlist that just came out the other day. Today it's 2 days ago, but I don't know when I'm gonna post this. Yes, so let's go through all the books on the long list. I'm kind of debating, and by debating I mean I feel like I'm going to. This year is my year to read the Booker Longlist. So yes, let's get into it. Oh, if you're new here, be sure to subscribe. If you're not, welcome back. I hope you enjoy me talking about these books. Okay, so there are 13 books on this year's list. I'd only heard of maybe 3 of them before, but here we go. Okay, so the first one is called The Passage North by Anuk Arudpragasam. Yes, this one takes place in Sri Lanka and I believe India too. It's about this young man named Krishan, and Krishan finds out that his grandmother's caretaker has died of unforeseen circumstances, so he must go to his grandmother to help her. But he also gets a message from an old fling, it seems. So and it seems it follows partially his long journey back home. Let's think about how much I think I would like this book, because let's all relate them all to me. I tend to enjoy Southeastern Asian culture and books in general, so it seems pretty interesting. It's it's a weird, it seems like a normal premise, but it also seems like a weird premise that he finds out that his grandmother's caretaker is dead. I don't know. Usually it's you have to journey home because of a death because one of your family members, but not this one. It's his grandmother's caretaker. So interesting. Will I like it? Probably 3 or 4. I'm thinking 3 or 4 on this one. So this next one is called The Sweetness of Water, and that's by Nathan Harris, and it takes place at the end of the Civil War, where 2 brothers have been freed because of the Emancipation I can't say this word. Emancipation Proclamation. Boom. But they go to seek refuge somewhere. But they also want to journey north to get out of the South. So they're saving money by working. Ooh, forbidden romance. That just notched it up for me. Oh, between 2 Confederate soldiers. Oh. Okay, so this got some LGBTQ plus vibes to it. At first I was historical fiction. I like some historical fiction and it sounds kind of interesting, but you give me some gay vibes and I'm yeah, this is gonna go up to probably a 4 for me. It feels like I'm gonna cry during this book. It's called The Sweetness of Water. That sounds like your tears are salty, but it's so sweet, So that's how I'm feeling. I think something tragic's gonna happen and I'm gonna be no. And those are my feelings on The Sweetness of Water. So the third book is Second Place by Rachel Cusk. I have never read a Rachel Cusk book, but I've always wanted to, not just because... Why are you playing with that? I've never read a Rachel Cusk book, but I've always wanted to. Primarily because her name's Rachel, or not just because. Who knows? Anyways, this one is this woman who takes in a famed artist on a coastal region, in a remote coastal region where she lives. Ooh, yeah, mystery of her life and landscape. Seems like a art, literary fiction, beautiful surrounding, romantic-esque. Yeah. Okay, I'm feeling romance. It doesn't say romance, I don't think, in this description, but I'm feeling romance. And I'm ready for it. Sally Rooney wrote something about it. Ooh. Achieves a kind of formal perfection. Masterly. It's a weird word to use. Masterly. Masterfully? You would think. But sounds good. I'm going to give this one a 4 as well. Nothing's like hitting me 5, but we're hitting 4s. This one just, I don't know. The next one is called The Promise by Damon Galgut. So this is the crash and burn of a white South African family. Okay, and their farm. And I'm assuming like the things they have to do to keep the farm alive. Ooh, they're gathering for Ma's funeral. Ooh. So after years, this the family, the younger generation, Anton and Amor, detest everything the family stands for, not least the failed promise to the black woman who has worked for them their whole lives. And they had promised her a house in her own land. So that's The Promise. It's the name of the book. Ooh. Narrator's eye shifts and blinks, moving fluidly between characters. Okay, I like that. I like a frame narrative. I like getting little aspects, you know. You're in everyone's head. I think this one will probably... It's another 4 for me, I feel like. I don't know. I wasn't feeling it at first because I was like, ooh, promise, you know, whatever. But then reading this, I'm like, maybe it is it. Maybe it is. Oh, this one's a 5. This is... You did not. Klara and the Sun by Kazuo Ishiguro. I've read Never Let Me Go and big fan. I loved it. Obviously, he won, doesn't he have Nobel Prize for Literature, I believe? Yeah, he does. So, obviously, he's a famed writer. It's his first novel since he got the Nobel Prize for Literature, which was a little while ago, so. So this is about Klara, an artificial friend with outstanding observational qualities, who, from her place in the store, watches carefully the behavior of those who come in to browse. Interesting, very Toy Story, very, yeah. Also, it kind of reminds me of Little Eyes by Samantha Schweblin, with like the AI friend like little thing. Haven't read that one, but I have read part of it. That sounds really cool. I've heard that it kind of goes in line with Never Let Me Go. So I don't know. It's not that it's the same book or that it's a sequel, but it has the same vibes of it. That's what I've heard. So I could do that. That's a 5. This next one sounds really fucking weird. Really weird. So that is No One Is Talking About This by Patricia Lockwood. Genre-defying book. A woman who has been recently elevated to prominence for her social media posts travels around the world to meet her adoring fans. She is overwhelmed by navigating the new language and etiquette of what she terms the portal, where she grapples with an unshakable conviction that a vast chorus of voices is now dictating her thoughts. What? That sounds wild. Little fantasy, a little interesting, a little intrigue. I'm into this. Like, this sounds like a book that I'm gonna give a 5 to. It feels like I'm gonna be like, yes, very interesting, very timely. We're all controlled by social media. It tells us what to do and what to think. You know, here I am posting on social media. A Town Called Solace, and this is by Mary Lawson. This one is another literary fiction. Takes place in North Ontario in 1972. 7-year-old Klara, weird, Clara's teenage sister Rose has just run away from home. At the same time, a strange man, Liam, drives up to the house next door, which he has just inherited from Miss Orchard, a kindly old woman who was friendly to Klara and relied on the girl to feed her cat, Moses. This sounds like a small town thing. I really hope there's some mystery and intrigue in it, because it feels like there should be. Gosh, the cover here is really bad. Like, I know there's a second cover. Okay, that cover's way better. This one's a 3 for me. This is a 3. It sounds like a knockoff Donna Tartt. I'm sorry. That's how it sounds to me. Like a little friend. Not like Secret History or anything. Anyways, China Room. Ooh. Sanjeev Sahuda. This one sounds pretty interesting. Multi-generational novel. It takes place in India. Love books that take place in India. And it's historical. It takes place both in 1929 and in more present day, where 1929, it sounds like 3 sisters all marry. No. Yeah. These like sisters marry these brothers, and a lot of the drama of this book takes place in what's called the China Room, which is like, I guess, the kitchen. So they're not allowed to be in contact with the men, and this one young bride is trying to discover the identity of her new husband. Real weird. The more recent one is that of a young man who in 1999 travels from England to the now deserted farm with the China Room. Okay, so that's pretty interesting. I'm saying 4. I'm gonna say 4 on this, like 4-star for me. That sounds like something I'll enjoy. Not really sure though. The next one is Bewilderment by Richard Powers. And let's see. Oh, it's not out yet. That's why I can't find it anywhere. Seems it comes out September 21st. This is gonna really be cutting it close this year. Thanks, Richard Powers. This is the same author who wrote The Overstory, the book about trees, and I love that book. This one's about an astrobiologist. Love it. Ooh, searches for life throughout the cosmos while single-handedly raising his unusual 9-year-old Robin. Ooh, I love it. Following his death of his wife. That sounds so tragic. Oh my God. Yes, it's like Contact, but like not like, you know, Jodie Foster, Carl Sagan. I mean, he's the author of Contact, and Jodie Foster was in Contact, but the movie. So is Matthew McConaughey. So I feel like I'm going to love this one because of Matthew McConaughey. Yes, this all makes sense to me. I'm giving it a 5. I really like The Overstory, so therefore I feel like I'm really going to like this. And most things that take place around space and life and stuff like that, I am kind of a sucker for, so want to read it. Going to read it. Next one is going to be my greatest feat, and that is Great Circle is my greatest feat. Great Circle by Maggie Shipstead. I'm like, ship. After being rescued as an infant from a sinking ocean liner, infants, in 1914, these 2 siblings are raised by a dissolute uncle in Montana. So I guess it's like their story of growing up in Montana in 1914, and it involves planes. Yeah, that the love affair with flight. I don't think I'm gonna like this book. Oh God, this is getting I don't see it being bad. I'm gonna say like a 2.5 because it's like very like meh, like I'm not feeling it. Circumnavigating the globe by flying over the North and South Poles. That's kind of interesting. Maybe a 3. I'll give it a 3. I mean, it's like 600 pages though, so 2.5. You lost me at the page count. Like, you made a choice and you chose it. Now we have An Island by Karen Jennings. So Samuel has lived alone for a long time. One morning he finds the sea has brought someone to offer companionship and to threaten his solitude. There's a refugee that washes up on shore. This all takes place in South Africa. It sounds very interesting. I think I would enjoy this book. I think I'm going to give it like a 4. Yeah. But that's only if I can find this book. I guess there's a Kindle edition, but I don't know if there's a print edition of this book. So I'm like, how'd you get longlisted for the Man Booker if there's no freaking print edition of your book? Next up is The Fortune Men. That's by Nadifa Mohamed. So, Mahmoud Matan is a fixture in Cardiff's Tiger Bay in 1952, which bustles with Somali and West Indian sailors. Okay, Maltese businessmen and Jewish families. He is a father, chancer, petty criminal. He is a smooth talker with rakish charm and an eye for a good game. He is many things, but he is not a murderer. Okay, this is like mystery, some crime. It's like stuff on like race. I'm gonna say a 4. I feel like this one's gonna have some intrigue to it. Like I'm gonna be like, ooh, let's dive on into that mystery. Literary mystery. The last one is Light Perpetual by Frances Spooford. Lunchtime, a Saturday, 1944. The Woolworths on Bexford High Street in southeast London has a new delivery, an aluminum saucepans. A crowd gathers to see the new metal in ages. The first new metal in ages. After all, everything's been melted down for the war effort. An instant later, the crowd is gone, incinerated. In it were 5 little children, atomized. Wow, this is like, what? Okay, yeah, this, at first I was like, I don't know, but like, ooh, I'm probably going to give this like a 4 or 5. I'm feeling like I will cry during this book. This feels like Rachel will cry. Sounds like a sad book. Yes. Okay, so I'm excited about most of these books. There's some books that I'm like, I probably am not as excited. Almost all of these books I would never have read. Like, I'd probably read Klara and the Sun, you know. I would most likely read No One Is Talking About This. Yeah. And then the other one, Bewilderment by Richard Powers, I would be more likely to read because I've read him before and I did enjoy the overstory and I thought that was a really good book. And it has to do with, like, space. So, a little more likely. Yeah, overall, I'm pretty excited about this. I already have The Sweetness of Water checked out from the library. So I'm probably going to start this reading soon. Hopefully August is going to be a big one for me trying to read the Booker Longlist. We'll see if it actually happens though. Maybe I'll make a vlog about it. Tell me what you think and whether you think I should do that because I might. Well, I hope you enjoyed this weird me walking you through all the books on the Booker Longlist. Because that's what just happened. That's what you just were a part of. So thanks for being here. Thanks for putting up with me. Bye.